sacrifice from the Upanishad's point of view. So we go really from the idea of ritual to get some benefit here or hereafter. And that means we have to appease all the various natural elements that we deem divine or from a divine source. And then the next phase is we realize the potency of the actual ceremony, the actual act. Well, coming back to an original question, bless you. Coming back to the original question about pilgrimages, you can take pilgrimages or any other religious act in several different ways according to your intention. So using these Vedas as an example, you can take it in order, I'm doing something to get something for myself. It'll work, if the intention is strong and no doubt is there, which leads us to the second phase, and that is to make your intention strong and endorse it through ritual. And there's a certain element of self-sacrifice in terms of pilgrimage. For example, in the Muslim pilgrimage, the Hajj, there's an equality there so that everybody dresses the same. There's a shaving of the head, which universally represents renunciation. Only in cold climates, monks don't shave the whole of their head. They shave just a small area because it's cold. But the idea is the same. Mundaka means to shave off. See, shaving off means I renounce the world. There's a symbolism. Lighting a lamp or a candle is a symbol. But you can do it mindlessly or you can do it mindfully. That's the difference. When we do yajna of various kinds as some kind of sacrifice mindfully, it's the intention that carries through. Now, if you do it mindfully and selflessly, this is the highest yajna. And this is what this chapter in the Bhagavad Gita is referring to. But before we go into that, a few words about Krishna, as I mentioned before. Now, sometimes when you think of Krishna, which Krishna is it? Because the Bhagavatam tells us a beautiful story about the life and the childhood of Sri Krishna. It's by picking up these bits and pieces that we're able to sew a fabric of a biography. But each episode tells us something beautiful and is worth meditating on. So if you know the life of Krishna, the first thing that impresses you is how Krishna was born. That was from sacrifice as well. Vasudeva, Devaki, they were in a situation where there was a jealousy. They had to overcome the jealousy of another. And so every child that was born got destroyed ruthlessly, some 8 times. But Vasudeva was miraculously able to squirrel away the baby Krishna off to a village in a storm and so on, all of that. The story is well known. But imagine the self-sacrifice of parents who have to sacrifice their own children. Imagine the strength of character that requires. So without going into any great detail, we can pick up these episodes and study it for ourselves and see the depth of moral meaning in it and what it can teach us. Krishna, of course, grows up, and of course, many demons are sent. And Krishna, because Krishna is a divine entity, overcame all of them. But we find Krishna, the naughty Krishna, Hari. Hari, multiple meanings, the entity that we are attracted to. Hari refers to theft, the one that steals our sins away. So Krishna, mythologically, according to the stories, will steal the butter. We can't say mythologically, we can say from a metaphorical point of view. So steals the butter, and what does butter represent? God's grace. Steals the butter, but distributes it to friends. Steals that, steals our hearts, steals our sins, steals and replaces it with glory, the yellowness of the butter. And butter, being a product of the cow represents something that flows. You remember we said. So when we view God's grace, why should we love God? Because God is lovable, because there's a free flow. We don't have to pay for anything. And that's the highest form of love, that something is given without any demand for any return. I know theology gets distorted and says, in order for us to have a stick and a carrot kind of attitude, a reward and a punishment, that in early days sets us straight. But as we develop, that fear goes away, and the necessity for that goes away, and self-motivation comes in, and all our inspiration comes from within. It doesn't have to come from outside. There doesn't have to be a law about it. And the more we then get close to a chosen ideal, which becomes very vague in the beginning, and starting to practice this sense of attunement to the glory of the self, what religions call God. The closer we get to that, the clearer this reality becomes for us, until it becomes ultimately crystal clear. And then all doubt vanishes, all fear vanishes, everything goes. We'll stop it for a moment.